Hello, everyone. Welcome back. NTL Sports here on episode 173. NBA and some NFL news for you today. NFL training camps have officially started for, I believe, all 32 teams. So we'll get into some of the news coming out of training camp. There's been some guys that got extended since we last talked. A couple guys are still waiting for that big payday, so we'll maybe update with their situations. Some of the guys got released that are trying to find new teams. We'll talk about that as well. So, with all that being said, guys, stay tuned. Back. Let's get into this. Let's start with the NBA. They have a little bit less news than the NFL to kind of catch you guys up on if you haven't heard already. But some things coming out the NBA. Probably the biggest thing is probably what happened to the Lakers. Honestly, Marcus Smart got bought out by the Wizards, and then once he cleared waivers, he signed with the Lakers, which I think was officially official on Monday, late Monday night. Of course, we didn't record Monday, but we'll bring this to you guys on Wednesday night. But Lawrence, how do you feel about Marcus Smart joining the Lakers? Now they did have to waive, I think Goodwin, who was that? I don't know if you remember the guy on the Lakers with the goggles. He played some good minutes for them last year, and they had to waive Shake Milton, who played at times last year, but he mostly rode the bench. So, how do you feel about the Lakers with Marcus Smart now on the team? Of course, they added Aiden as well. So, you think they're in the same spot as last year? Maybe they still need to make some moves. How you feel?
I definitely believe they're in the boat of needing to make some more moves still. I don't think adding Marcus Smart closes any other, I would say, avenue of the problem that they have. They just kind of ultimately just lack depth really deep. And then you're spending money on LeBron and you can't get as many gains out of him. And then you got to try to compete in that, you know, torrential West, just an onslaught of just high level competition every game after game.
Yeah, the West is tough. I'm in agreement with you. I think this doesn't really move the needle for me. I think Smart can, obviously, he's probably still a starting caliber player, so he's probably going to start alongside Luca in the backcourt. But I think you need more moves there. They still need a wing defender. You lose Finney Smith, you got to find somebody to replace him. I don't think the guy. I think his name is like Jake Laravia, or I think I'm saying his name right. I don't think he's just enough to replace Dorian Finney-Smith. You need another guy. So, LeBron's putting the pressure on them. I don't think LeBron's totally 100% going to leave, but I think if they don't make one more move, he's definitely not going to be comfortable with the team they put out there. I don't think Luka will be either, honestly. Um, Second move that happened, we talked about Beal last week. The next domino was Dame. He decided to return to Portland. I was honestly shocked, Lawrence. I was like, bro, why are we going back to Portland? This is ridiculous. But I can understand from the standpoint that he wants to be close to his kids. Recently divorced. He just wants to be close to his kids, and not that he couldn't contribute to a team next year. He's not going to play this year, but you left Portland for a reason. This just makes it seem like leaving Portland was just for nothing. That's how I take it. I don't know how do you take it, Lawrence, but that's kind of how I look at things.
Well, I mean, he was viewed as like a Larry Fitzgerald kind of guy that would never leave the city he was in. He probably is like a family guy, down to earth and everything, and going out to Milwaukee to try to chase a ring to like really prove what, in his own eyes, like to prove what. He probably had some marriage problems, and he loves his kid. He loves his like town he was from, which is Portland. Well, not from, but like he got so much playing time in. And honestly, he just wanted to go back to where he felt like he was at home. And I I, I think the only loser in this scenario is the Bucks. I don't think you can view this as a loss for the Portland Trailblazers at all. I mean, they ended up getting their guy a few years on the road when he was not ready to call it a career, but like he at this point has proven to that he wants to retire a Portland Trailblazer. So you got the next 5 years if you can make it out of him.
Yeah, he signed for 3, but obviously, I think he probably can still play into late 30s. I think with 3 years, he'll be like probably 38 at the end of this deal. So maybe he'll play one more. But um, yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, but I get it. If you're a family man, like you say, Lawrence, down to the earth, and that's what's most important, then why not go back to the place that you probably swore you never were going to leave? But it is what it is. Uh, Next up, Okogie joins the Rockets on a 1-year deal. Remember the Suns, I think, traded him to the Hornets, and then the Hornets, I think, believe waived him. So now he signs with the Rockets. Gives them a little bit more wing depth in terms of just defending and be able to hit corner threes and whatnot. So I kind of like the move for them. Any thoughts about this one?
Honestly, it just kind of feels like it's gonna not gonna say it's gonna be like a little toxic, but it's gonna be a little crazy. All the people joining the Rockets now that ultimately probably shouldn't be on the Rockets. I mean, they could easily be on better teams with better roles.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, little mind-boggling, but um, when you get these like not even super teams, but these really good teams, the teams that got a lot of hype, it just seems like they'll attract anybody. Like even if they might not even play a lot, they're just like, all right, I just want to be on that team just to get that
Just
ring.
to
So
just to get the
I mean, from
chance
that
for it.
standpoint, I can understand. Yeah, from that standpoint, I can understand. The last couple last things. Chris Paul goes back to the Clippers. He is not going to start. I think the GM Lawrence Frank already came out and said that. But this is his last season apparently. Do you like Chris Paul back in LA, being the backup point guard?
I
It's
feel
a
like
team of old men, like you said last week.
I just feel like it doesn't really change anything. Isn't he going to be like a veteran minimum almost? He's not getting a whole lot. You can't really afford to
Yeah,
give
I
him a
think
whole
a
lot. I
minimum.
mean, it just allows him to settle down where he wants to end up at.
Yeah, I think it's a minimum. I think they didn't have much money to offer anyway, so minimum. Probably his best basketball was in LA. Some people might argue it was in New Orleans, but I would say it's probably with Clippers, even though they had some disappointing playoff seasons. But I mean, he was he was damn near unguardable in terms of just passing, facilitating, and scoring back in those Clippers days when he was in his prime. So I think it's like a kind of a good farewell type of tour for his last season. Um, Dougie McBucket signs with the Kings, and I think that's pretty much all the news we have out of the NBA. Um, Now, more importantly, in the NFL, we got more news, not a lot more news to go over, but probably the biggest thing that happened since last week. I think we both said that this wasn't going to happen, and then I think literally it was either the next day or like 2 days after,
The TJ
TJ Watt
Watt,
got
yeah.
paid 3 years, 123 million, highest non quarterback in NFL history. Um, he's turning what 31 in October, so this is a pretty penny for a guy on the wrong side of 30. But honestly, I think he can probably still produce until he's 34. That's my opinion. Lawrence, how you feel about the deal? Do you like it? Do you think he'll still be able to, be that guy at 34?
No, I like the deal just because of what he's brought to the team. And you're kind of rewarding him for what he
Mm-hmm.
has brought to the team. But then you look at the team as an overall, and you're like, dang, they have spent a lot of money on the defense. And year to year, the problem with the team is not the defense. It's always the offense. So it's kind of to come down to a year that are you actually going to focus on the offense getting better by major improvements?
Yeah, I agree. Is we know the problem is the offense, and you getting. We already know you getting one year out of Aaron Rodgers. He's already said that. He said this is probably his last year. and he's going to give you everything you got. But they don't have a contingency plan after that, which is kind of embarrassing. Maybe Will Howard would be that, but I doubt it. So I think we're just going to see the same old Steelers. Honestly, I don't really see anything changing. Maybe you boost morale because your best player got paid the biggest salary for the moment until Michael gets paid. But I mean, for me, it doesn't change anything. Will he still be able to perform at the same level at 34? Like I said, probably so, but well deserved. Doesn't really change my opinion about the Steelers and what they're going to accomplish this season. The two other guys that are waiting to get paid in terms of the big dollars. Trey still waiting for his contract to go through. Actually, Mike Brown, the owner, spoke. I think it was Monday, the first day of training camp, and he said they're working on the deal, Lawrence, and they're going to get it done. He reiterated Trey is holding out. He is currently in Florida. He posted a picture on IG. Him and his wife went down there. So we'll see if that happens. Apparently, Rappaport said today on the Pat McAfee show that it's not so much the money he's worried about. It's just like the amount of guaranteed years. I think they're not guaranteeing anything past this season. So that's a big holdup for that. And Micah Parsons, I don't know if you saw this, Lawrence, but
Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that situation.
Man, that's just a man being an imbecile because would he point out that he's missed, 6 games in 2 years or something? Wow. Incredible. But then, I mean, you also got to call out your quarterback for also being some cheeks constantly in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you say those things about your best players, even if they are, like you said, they can be cheeks at times, but you don't say that about your two best players. It doesn't really make sense to me. Jerry doesn't make sense to me. He's going to end up paying even more because you're just pissed off Micah. And I think today he said if you don't want me, then just tell me you don't want me, then I'll go about my business. Like, why are we playing games? So who knows? We know why Jerry does it. He likes the drama and shit, but
yeah, but you're trying
just
to
pay
win
the man if you're gonna pay him.
But you're trying to win a Super Bowl. You can't be having that kind of drama.
Especially he says he wants to win one more, and we all know why. He's getting up there in age, so I don't think he has too many more years that he can keep playing these games instead of paying people.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the two big guys. Oh, I guess Scary Terry is also holding out Lawrence.
I heard he
I
was
thought this deal might have got done. Yeah, he did not report. He is on the did not report list, so he is officially holding out. I don't think they're any close to a deal. Apparently, it's the same thing as Trey. They don't want to guarantee anything. I don't even think it's past this season. I think it's more so just in total guarantees. I think from what I heard on the radio today, they're not trying to guarantee anything more than $50 million. So basically, they'll pay him 2 years of guaranteed money when he probably wants 3, and then probably more 70, 80 million guaranteed money.
Well, the guaranteed money is becoming a bigger deal. And I don't know if you know the status report on the second rounders reporting to training camps and stuff, because weren't all the second rounders holding out because the Houston Texans gave a guaranteed contract to a second rounder.
I believe all the guys in the top of the second. So the first 10 second round picks, I think all got guaranteed contracts just because of what the Texans did. Yeah.
And then you got to say to yourself, well, this rookie second rounder is getting a guarantee. I got to be getting good guarantees. I've already proven my worth over years. I think everything's going to start moving towards, guaranteed contracts. And I think we're going to have a problem with people just starting to make just oodles and noodles of money that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Just how the Commanders were moving honestly, just the past year, how they're moving, you would have thought that they got this deal done before training camp. Yeah, they drag it out beforehand, but training camp, you probably would want Jaden to have his. Honestly, the second best player on the team is Terry. So to have your second best player not in training camp, not getting reps, not showing face, not kind of there to hold people accountable is it's honestly a big deal. Especially when he's like the second, not only second best player, but second best player on offense too. So I think it's dumb. We know Josh Harris takes care of his people, but this seems more like a Adam Peters thing. Like he's coming from that 49ers system where they kind of drag things out. We saw how they drag things out with Ayuk, and they kind of drag things out with Debo a little bit too. So I think he's just of that same mentality. So I don't really see this one getting done either anytime soon. How about you?
Well, when you put it in light like that, I would also say the same. But I just feel like it's impossible not to pay Scary Terry because you need that weapon going into the season to give the future of your franchise the possibility to succeed. Because even if Scary Terry isn't your future and you only get him for another 3 years, and then we're talking about Daniel's getting this big contract, and you've already gotten two other good weapons built around him, and Scary Terry's leaving, and then this contract talk is different. But at this current moment, you just gotta bite the bullet and like, just accept the fate. Like he's got you to buy. He wants his guaranteed money. Guaranteed money is going to be going to these rookies like it's nothing. You're gonna have to give the man the guarantee that he's looking for. He'll put in the effort, and you make it a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. You just gotta bite the bullet. Jaden's contract is super cheap right now compared to what he's going to command in what 3 more seasons, 2 more seasons. He can probably negotiate in 2 more seasons, but in 3 seasons is when it's going to kick in, right? So I think there's plenty of time in between to kind of find a contingency plan, whether that's drafting a cheap young receiver or even trading for a cheap young receiver that didn't work out somewhere else. Maybe you think he can work out in Washington with Jaden. So we'll keep following this one. Um, Another story that kind of broke, I think it broke earlier this week, actually on Monday. Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger, retired after 12 seasons, I believe 12 seasons in the NFL. Um, how would you kind of not grade, but how would you kind of like summarize Tyrann's like career in the NFL, Lawrence? Do you think he's Hall of Fame worthy, or he's just a really good player that helped out a lot of good teams?
I think he was just a good player that was on a lot of good teams. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I thought he peaked in college. But, LSU Tyrann Mathieu was by far,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, a bigger demon on the field than it was. I would say outside the Chiefs era. I think when in that during that Chiefs era, when the rest of that defense was low key kind of stacked around him as well, he looked really good. Like I would say, trajectory of like Hall of Fame level career. Then as he aged, he was just a guy that filled a hole that was high level. You knew you were going to get year after year. And, I think he hung out on the Saints. He really didn't make much moves and make much pushes.
Yeah, honestly, I think remember he was like in the top 5 of Heisman voting coming out of LSU, right, in his last season there.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I kind of get that that if you want to say he peaked there, but yeah, he did have some good years, a lot of good teams. So honestly, great career overall. Um, some other news in NFL. Noah Fant was released by the Seahawks. Now he is on his way to Cincinnati tomorrow for a visit. He's only 27 years old, so um, kind of a younger tight end. Joe Burrow kind of ups tight ends' values when they come play with him. So this could be a 1 year rental. Maybe him and Gasecki could be a dynamic duo. We'll see if he signs, but that's just my first thoughts. You have any thoughts about this one?
Of Iowa tight ends, unfortunately, he's more on the unathletic side, more so than Kittle and Laporta. But at
Uh,
least he knows how to run his trees.
yeah, run good routes, good end zone or red zone threat. Um, I mean, I like him if they pick him up. If not, I think we'll be just fine. But I think it will be a great pickup uh, especially because I mean, outside of Gasecki, they don't really have anyone else they can run in that two tight end set. They had Eric All, but he's injured and he's not going to come back this season most likely. So I think they do need somebody else to kind of be that second tight end. They can go back to those type of packages. They had a lot of success, so something I definitely will want them to do. Um, Other than that, do you have anything from your Panthers from training camp that you've seen so far that you liked? I know it's only been 2 days, but from the Bengals side of things, I like what I've seen from training camp so far. Our running back, the guy from I think Texas A&M or Texas Tech or Texas A&M, Taj Brooks, I think his name is. He's been getting some first team reps, so that's good. It seems like he might be splitting carries with Chase Brown, so I'm excited if that's what this is going to look like. But other than that, I don't have any updates from the Bengals side. So, do you have any Panthers updates you want to share?
Well, on the Panthers side, I I, I don't know. It's kind of like a tale of two minds. You get certain media members saying how it could be the season the Panthers have a breakout year, blah 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 this,
Mm-hmm.
blah 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 that. Then you get others and they're like, yeah, it's just the same old same old. I think on ESPN they got ranked the 30th best roster, so it's really hard to get behind like that. But honestly, I think the sleeper that's coming out of this year for us is going to be the wide receiver room. I think it's just going to be a big change. I think there's going to be a huge uptick um, in just the offensive I would just call offense as a whole. I think the main question going into the camp or going into the season is going to be the abilities to one stop the run and pressure the pass.
From what I've seen from the Panthers side of things, Hunter Winfro looks good. I don't know if you've seen him, his reps so far, but I think he's going to be pretty good coming back from. Did he retire? Or he just didn't play last year. I
He just
forgot
didn't
his
play last
situation.
year.
Yeah, so you guys got him. You got Adam Thielen. You still got what's the other guy?
We
Uh,
got Xavier again, and then we're gonna have McMillan, and then
uh,
there's Jimmy
yeah, the guy
Horn.
from Arizona. Oh, Jimmy Horn. I like Jimmy Horn too. So yeah, wide receiver room. I think, hey, a lot of growth could happen there. I think even Ocho was like, yeah, watch out for the Panthers wideout room. If they really grow and pop off this year, they're gonna be something different. I really like what you guys got going on.
Yeah, I like what we have going on too, but it's crazy we only have one primetime game.
Oh, well, you play well. They can fix that. I think we have five.
Hmm.
Two of them against the Ravens. I think.
Just unnecessary.
Yeah. Preseason wise, I think the Bengals play in Philly. We play in Washington. So your boy will most likely be going to those. Zach Taylor came out and said Joe is going to play a lot more than previous year. So maybe I'll finally get to see some Joe Burrow reps because I think the past couple times we went, we've seen Jake Browning or what's his name? Who did we see last year or 2 years ago? Jake Browning for like one series and some other guy.
Brissett? I thought no, Brissett was on the other team. Hmm. I simply don't
I'm,
know. I
I'm
just remember Jake Browning. It was always Browning. Browning had that amazing. I think he went 8 for 8 first drive. They were like, "Oh, I think we see. I don't think we need to see anymore." And they threw in that bum, and I swear to you, man, he was just so bad.
Yeah, they put the other guy in. He was kind of bumming it out. They did sign Desmond Riddler as potential QB3, so I think that's kind of smart. I don't know. He didn't look too bad in Atlanta, but then again, he had Arthur Smith as his OCs. So, well, OC and head coach, really. So maybe that has something to do with it. Other than that, Lawrence, I don't have anything else. Von Miller is signed with the Commanders. I don't know if that's not really moving anything for me. Just an old guy coming off the edge. He'll play on third downs, third down passing downs.
Yeah, third down's probably only or red zones.
Yeah, that's all I can see coming out of that. Um, Other than that, I don't have anything else. I know UFC, the fight happened, but neither of us watched that, so I got nothing to report. Dana did put out the card for, I think, Vegas and the
Perth,
one after, right?
yeah,
But
for Perth.
yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that on me right now, so we can just wait till when those happen. So, anything else for head on out?
Nothing else. I got nothing to press anymore.
All right, guys. So that being said, we're gonna head on out. Thank you guys for watching and watching on YouTube and listening on Spotify. Thank you guys for also, following us on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. All that good stuff. We will see you next week. Peace.